It's game day. It is officially hashtag beat the heck out of Notre Dame on today. We're coming into this game and we're gonna come in, man, with a lot of grit, a lot of determination, and with our backs up against the wall. As long as we're in the College World Series, up into the actual finals, then this is just what it has to be. All right. So before we get into this matchup, this is what I want to do. First off, man, congrats to the Louisville Cardinals for grabbing the number one running back in the 2023 cycle, and which is Ruben Owens. That was a really, really big announcement when they named it on yesterday. I knew immediately after the announcement this was what we was gonna hear. Oh man, they dropping bags over there at Louisville. So understand this here. All right, the whole quote unquote dropping bags, BS. To me, it's BS. To go all on social media and post all that old dropping bags and NIL under a kid's commitment. Man, you guys gotta quit that. To tell him to his face, if you guys are doing that, you guys gotta quit that. Howdy from South Africa. Wow. That's the first time I've ever seen somebody from South Africa or from another country, period, that I can remember, because I know for sure that I have seen it on a couple of the football podcasts. But howdy, man. I love that. Shout out to Ben Dennison from South Africa out there, man. Wow, this is Aggies coming from all over everywhere. That stands out to me on the simple fact of how far this platform has gotten. I thank you for tuning in. He's listening from hunting camp out there, man. I thank you for that, man. I thank you. I hope you enjoy the show. Man, I hope you enjoy the show. I'm from Dalet. Or did you mean to say Dallas? Is it Dalet or Dallas? But whichever one, man, I thank you for tuning in. I could not say more about you guys tuning in. So back to what I was saying, man. You guys have to stop with this dropping the bags comments under each and every commit that does not go to Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State. All right. I can even put Texas in this equation, because a lot of people are saying that, well, they going to Texas for the bag. And this is only because of the simple fact of what Texas put out there football wise, with the whole shenanigans about all the offensive linemen getting paid $50K to come, and then they hurry up and deleted the entire tweet that they had put out. But anywho, man, you guys got to stop doing that. All right. So shout out to Louisville once again. All I can say is this here. The reason why the young man committed to Louisville, in my opinion, and what I'm looking at, and anything can happen. A flip can happen to anything. I'm not predicting a flip, so you will not get that from me. I love my Aggies to death, but I believe that we will not flip that young man from Louisville. All right, Texas fans, I know they'll say otherwise, but I don't believe anybody will flip that young man from Louisville, man. I understand that we have to continue to watch it, see how far it goes, stuff like that. But anywho, the reason why I say shout out to Louisville for grabbing him, and the reason why I do think that he did commit to Louisville, is because this simple reason. You got to understand that he was he was one of the top 3 players in the state of Texas, for sure. I believe he was number 2 or number 3 behind David Hicks and a linebacker. I cannot remember his name. Anthony Hill. I believe he was either in between those guys or he was right after those 2 guys. Understand the pressure that's put on you when you're, especially number 1. Understand how much pressure that is put on you. Excuse me, putting my hand all in the camera. Understand how much pressure is put on you when you are from those typical states that does a whole lot of football, especially from the state of Texas. All right, and you have a blue blood school, which is Texas, and then you got another premier school, which is now in the SEC. You got to understand that a lot of these kids may not want to stay in state and deal with that. All right, it takes a whole lot to deal with being one of the best players in those 3 states alone, especially those top 2 states, which is Miami and Texas. All right, a whole lot of people shunned Shamar Stewart for picking Texas A&M. All right, because he was indeed the #1 player in Florida over there. He was the #1 player. A lot of people came after him because of that. A lot of people hit him with a lot of backlash. Now Ruben Owens is gone. He's going to deal with that as well. A lot of people are going to say a whole lot of things about why he chose Louisville over Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, LSU, and the list goes on, man. So congratulations to that young man. I believe that he wants to go over to Louisville and establish his own identity. Let him go and do it, all right? Now, I hate that we couldn't get him, in which I know he would have fit in that running back room for sure. That would have been one of our first 5 stars in a very long time at the running back position. I always tell you guys that. But I give credit to where credit is due. Louisville is doing something that hadn't been seen before ever in their recruiting. All right, so let those guys enjoy it. We have a whole lot more kids to choose from in the state of Texas, and I'll get to another recruiting video later on throughout the week, all right? But for right now, let it be. Congratulations to Louisville. Congratulations to Ruben Owens himself for making a big-time decision that involved him and his family and things of that nature, man. Good luck to you. Go and put it down for the state of Texas. Show them how the state of Texas does it, baby. All right? We own that football world so far as high school is concerned, in my opinion. All right? But anywho, guys, let's keep on going here. So the matchup between Texas A&M and Notre Dame. You know, what are we looking for in this game specifically? What we're looking for in this game specifically is this here. Can Texas A&M outlast the Notre Dame defense? I'm going to tell you how Notre Dame has gotten this far. Their defense. They're one of the best in the country. I'm not going to name any names off the top of my head so far as the offense is concerned with Notre Dame. But to my knowledge of looking at those stats when I was doing it, when we was going up against Texas and stuff like that, Notre Dame is pretty damn good defensively. Okay? So we're going to have to really go out, and we're going to have to show up, and we're going to have to show the entire world of why they rank Texas A&M as the #5 team in college baseball, man. All right, so it didn't know ifs, ands, or buts about that. We are now the highest seed remaining in the College World Series as the #5 seed. So it's still a top 5 team inside of this College World Series, and it lies on Texas A&M at the moment. So this is a lot of pressure that's on us. It's a lot of pressure that's on Jim Schlossnagle. And which is the reason to why I'm going to ride with Texas A&M, period, because I'm a fan, you know, clearly. But I'm going to ride on Texas A&M. I'm not looking at no history so far as the history is concerned, just like I told you guys on last time. I'm looking at the simple fact of what do we have in our coach? What do we have in our coaching staff? Because a lot of these guys are going to try to get plucked off during the offseason, in which is so amazing to me because nobody has been here for 1 year yet. Nobody has been here for 1 year yet. All right, so you have to look at this team. What's it coming with? It's coming with a whole lot of offensive firepower. That's due to the staff. Defense hasn't been great at all. But we find ways to get the job done and move to the next. What you guys got to realize about Jim Schlossnagle, the head coach, Texas A&M, is after the win against Texas, in which was a monumental win, and that's why we were not finished talking about this for a long time, because it was on the biggest stage of college baseball, period. What you guys got to understand about Jim is that after the game against Texas, Jim said this here, and I hope that a lot of you guys caught what Jim said. Jim said this here. The rivalry is good, you know, but I believe that the rivalry is mostly for the fans, you know, the alumni and stuff like that. You know, like don't get me wrong. I will not downplay winning this ball game and winning the rivalry, but if the rivalry game was what I had to go through to win a national title, then that's just what it's going to be. He said his focus is to focus on national championships. Yeah, that win was good, but I want to win a national title. He said his players wants to win a national title. We're not focused on rivalry, man. We're focused on beating every opponent to win a national championship. The only coach that you have heard that from lately, so far as the new coaches are concerned, is Jimbo Fisher. All right, and a lot of people, you know, that's outside of Texas A&M and out, you know, in all over, you know, Alabama and stuff like that. A couple of those fans, most of the Texas fans, a lot of them love to shun Jimbo Fisher, but Jimbo Fisher backed up a couple of his statements that he made, in which his number one is the recruiting. He told you that he was going to get the number one, number two class. Number two is he backed up his statement that he made against Nick Saban on last year. We're going to beat his ass while he's there. He went out and done it. You know, he made a statement and broke the barriers of beating Alabama and Auburn at home. Never had been done before, ever since we've been in the SEC. Broke the barrier of beating LSU already. He got 2 wins against those guys. We wasn't winning against LSU until he came. So, back to Jim. How does this translate to Jim Schlossnagle? Well, Jim is staring at the same image. He's breaking down barriers. All right? We weren't winning College World Series games until Jim Schlossnagle came. The only ones that we had won was from the coaches way back in 1993. And that was before the previous head coach. All right? That was clearly before the previous head coach. He wasn't here in 1993. Okay? He came in like the later 1999 and 2000. He wasn't here in 93, man. Nobody that's here today playing with us is from the 1993 coaching staff and where we won that first and where we won our second College World Series game. So, yeah, that was a defining moment. The question is, can you continue to do it? In which I believe that he can continue to do it, because if you don't know anything else, you know this here about Jim. Jim lost that one game, and this is back in the regular season. Jim lost that one game after he finished losing that one game, and several games as well. But after he finished losing that one, Jim looked at his coaching staff and he looked at his players. His players looked at him, coaching staff looked at him back, and they said this here: we ain't losing another freaking game going forward. Things didn't work out that way. I will say that. You know, so far as, you know, a couple of series is concerned, stuff like that. But they got up to the SEC title game, in which Jim wanted to win that. He would let you know off the rip, man, I'm here to win games. I want to win. Take you back to that TCU moment. He said, man, I love those guys to death over there, but I came to Texas A&M because I want to win. He's all about winning, and he loves his kids at the same time. But he wants to win. He wants to install that mentality into his kids as well. I need you guys to want to win. We may take a couple of losses here and there. That's fine. But the main focus is to win everything that's in front of us and win in the bigger moments and games that we need to win to continue to get to the next level. All right. Anywho, let's keep on going. He won that game. I mean, he lost in the SEC tournament. Put him out. In embarrassing fashion. He lost in embarrassing fashion. I will say that. He had his regionals already set. He swept his entire regional. Period. All right? Was one of the very few teams to do that. Swept the entire regionals. Gone. Got to the College World Series, lost that one game. That angered him. That angered him a whole lot. To get up there on that big stage and lose like how the way they did, give up those many walks, that not only embarrassed him, that embarrassed the entire coaching staff, and that embarrassed those players. What did I tell you guys in a post that I posted out? Last time we lost one game, we're going to lose any more after that. Question is, can you now do it on the biggest stage of them all, which is the College World Series stage, and in Omaha? He can do that. All right? I'll take you back to really got this team on the run was when they beat Arkansas. What really done it, though, was when they beat LSU in that series. LSU gave them so much crap when they came out there. They gave them hell out there, man. I will say that those fans gave him hell, and he went out there. He put everything on that platter, looked at it all. Okay. And he went out there and he straight won the series, hands down. Then they went on to Arkansas. Won that series against Arkansas. Biggest one was Ole Miss. And you looking at Ole Miss right now, and we all know why Ole Miss is ranked number 1. He beat Ole Miss in Oxford. He got the dub in the series. What does that have to do with Notre Dame? We get up to Notre Dame. We know that they have a defense. But what is it about Texas A&M that gives them this sole edge? It's the energy after they take a loss. They don't like losing. All right? They don't like losing. What's the edge on Texas A&M? Texas A&M won't give up errors. We won't give up any walks like we gave up a bunch of walks in that Oklahoma beatdown. We gave up a bunch of walks in that Oklahoma beatdown. I got somebody on here that's saying, who's starting? Do you know? I do not know who's going to be the starting pitcher. I believe Jim didn't want to tell anybody because he just wanted everybody to see for themselves. Now, if I'm wrong, then you guys got to please come and tell you that. Tell me that. But I believe, in my opinion, I believe that the guy that went out there and calmed that Oklahoma game down to a minimum just may very well be the starting pitcher for today. He's a guy that has not given up not a lot of walks like that. Like I say, man, that Oklahoma game showed us something. You know, and that Oklahoma game kind of put us back into a mode of, all right, I see what we got to do. And we didn't play our ball game. But anywho, I don't know who's necessarily going to be the pitcher, but I'm assuming it's going to be that young fellow. And like I say, man, back to it, I don't believe that it's going to be walks given up. I don't believe a lot of errors is going to be made in this game. And in which, if you're playing Texas A&M, you're counting on the defense to make mistakes. All right? You're counting on the pitching to make, which is defense. But you're counting on the defense to make a whole lot of mistakes. That way, if you get A&M out of their rhythm and you hit their weak spot, which is our defense, and we know that, then that clearly gives you a shot at winning that ball game. All right? What you don't want from A&M, and as A&M fans know this, you don't want the game to continue to lag all the way into the 7th inning, in which when you think that A&M is out of it, they all of a sudden wake you up. And all of a sudden you're looking around, you're looking at the coaches coming out there on the mound, telling the pitcher, hey, man, we got to switch you out, and things of that nature. The 7th inning is where Texas A&M makes their living at. They make an entire living in the 7th inning. I've never ever seen that before. I don't think anybody in college baseball has seen a team go that strong in 1 inning, period, throughout the entire season. And this is what has been helping us win ball games. They're very, very patient, and they wait for the other team to make mistakes. They wait for their opponents to draw blood first. And once that blood is drawn, and Texas A&M knows that, they start going for all kind of kill shots. And once they go for the kill shots, That's pretty much the ball game after that. Once again, us A&M fans knows this. Once they hit one kill shot, it's like they keep on coming. They don't take a break nor a step back, and that is agonizing for the next team because they want to get up out that inning so much. But even the announcers knows that, oh, here we go. It's a 7th inning. And it's just all kind of RBIs just being boom, boom, boom. Guys just hitting them left to right. It's no home runs, guys aren't looking for home runs. They're just looking to play simple baseball. And once they calm down, they start playing simple baseball in the 7th inning. That is when, like I told you, man, it's game over after that. Guys are just flying left to right. You see a lot of bases all of a sudden start being loaded. You start seeing A&M getting walked. It's just, man, it's just unbelievable. I see one guy said that I think Detner was announced. So if Nathan Detner does come out there, understand that this is Nathan Detner redemption game. I do know this here. The Aggies want another shot at Oklahoma again. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe Oklahoma wants that shot again because they got us the first time. But we do know that that game could have been decided the other way if not all of those walks had been given up. And I honestly think, man, that was just Texas A&M having to settle in and know that they're playing in the College World Series. All right, you have to really, really settle down, and you have to play baseball, and you have to play your game. So it's a lot of nervousness that was running through that entire dugout in the bullpen itself, man. You just have to know where you are. The thing about Jim Schlossnagle is that he's been there already. He's been there several times. This stage isn't new to him. It's new to a lot of these players on this baseball team for Texas A&M. All right, some of these guys it isn't new to, so far as I believe who was it, Trevor Warner or Micah Dallas. It isn't new to him. He's been there already. I believe that he was in the actual finals game, if I'm not mistaken, or he got to the semifinals. It was one of them. But that stage isn't new to him. So that's why when we seen him come out and he performed how he performed, he's already used to that stage. The thing about Notre Dame is that Notre Dame hadn't been here in like 20 years. Notre Dame isn't used to this stage. The coach isn't used to this stage. The players aren't used to this stage. Now, I'm not going to downplay Notre Dame because I know it's their biggest threat. Like I said, man, it's their defense. If the offense comes out blasting and they look like an A&M offense, they look like a top 5 offense in the league, in which we know they can be, then Notre Dame will have problems. We will make a couple of those guys start breaking down some of their defensive performances in which they've been had, and we'll start making them play Texas A&M baseball. All right, what do I mean by that? We break you down limb by limb until you get tired, until your pitching absolutely gets frustrated in the mind. This is what we do. We play a brain teaser in your head, and we want you to keep going into the 7th inning. The 7th through the 9th inning, A&M lives in those 2 innings. They live in those 3 innings. I'm sorry. From the 7th to the 9th, they live in those 3 innings in particular, and they don't slow down from what they are capable of doing. If we start early, like we done in that Texas game where we just absolutely went on a run early, it's hard to come back and beat that Texas A&M ball club. Because if you give up a lead and you're looking at yourself and you're in the 5th inning and the score is like 6-0, Texas A&M, all I can say is that you better hold on because we're not in the 7th inning yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And once we get there, we aren't taking our foot off the gas. This is what they do. They're an offensive team. They know their identity. It is offense. It's not defense yet. Lord knows what this team is going to do next year when they practice and get better at the defense. This team is going to be very good. We have a damn good baseball team going forward for at least the rest of the decade. I would say this once again. We have a damn good baseball team going forward, at least for the rest of the decade. And that's for guys coming in that's going to be very new and stuff like that. I will say that by year 5, Jim Schlossnagle will have recruited a #1 baseball class. That's very hard to do when you're going up against LSU, Texas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. Those guys strictly dominate baseball, man. They dominate the baseball part of it so far as recruiting. That is going to be hard, but this will now be where Texas A&M lives at for the rest of this decade going forward. Man, I'm telling you, this is now where Texas A&M will live at. They will live in the College World Series. We ain't going to have as many appearances as a lot of teams are, but we are going to have a lot of wins in it. We may not win them all, but we're going to have a lot of wins in this thing. I expect Jim to get his first College World Series victory this year. College World Series national title. Listen to what I'm telling you guys. I couldn't be more sure about this Texas A&M baseball team than I am now. All right. Once again, we have to go up against opponent, which is Notre Dame. This is going to be very bold, and it's going to sound arrogant. As of right now, Notre Dame is in the way. Notre Dame is in the way. Excuse me for saying that. I don't want you guys to take that from out of context, as much as I know you guys are going to do. But Notre Dame is in the way. They're in the way. I feel very confident about them going out there today because they've now settled in. This is what you did not want to see from Texas A&M in this College World Series. I'm telling you that. You did not want to see them settle in, because once they're settled in, it's just a free fall. And bats will explode. So I will not underplay Notre Dame. I will give a score prediction, which baseball is very hard to give a score prediction in. I will say at the end of the day, Texas A&M 8, Notre Dame 5. I'm gonna say that once again. Texas A&M 8, Notre Dame 5. That's my score prediction. All right, so understand a lot of people say the whole jinxing thing and stuff like that. I don't know if my stuff be getting spammed or what, but if you guys can see these comments, I have no clue who the hell this is from, but they're just posting all kinds of stuff. Look at this. It's going on a rampage right now too. Oh my goodness. I have no clue of what this is in the comment section, but I'm telling you right now, this ain't nothing but spam. Somebody is. Oh my. And I hate when they do these in the comments. Anywho, but back to Notre Dame. A lot of us will be watching. We will beat Notre Dame, as it is officially #beat the heck out of Notre Dame. All right. Love all of you guys. #GigaMag.